Hi everybody, this is Jeremy Siskind. I am the author of Playing Solo Jazz Piano. I'm also the author of the Jazz Piano Fundamentals series. And let me address the elephant in the room. I'm wearing a hat. If you saw my hair today, you'd be wearing a hat too. Okay, so I want to talk about something that I'm calling shadow harmony, because that sounds dramatic. But I think it's actually really, really important. So to me, in a lot of cases, you've got your chords, right? And traditionally, we think that the chords tell us the harmony. But a lot of times, underlying that harmony, the reason things work together, has nothing to do with the chords. And it's actually the scales, and particularly, in my experience and opinion, pentatonic scales that are holding things together. And so I want to look at Coltrane's beautiful tune, Naima, and show you the two levels of harmony. The harmony that's written on the page that the chord symbols are telling you, and the harmony that's being implied by the scales. And this is actually this is a video more for me than for you guys, because I'm going to show you actually some reasons why this tune I think is even more special than many other tunes. So first of all, if you're not familiar with Naima, it is such an incredibly beautiful tune. Let me play a mediocre version for you here. So. Just love it. Okay, so, let's look at the top line of harmony, the one that's actually written. It's quite interesting, especially if we're thinking modally. We're going from kind of a mixolydian mode to start. Right, this chord is very similar to an E flat sus. So that implies a mixolydian mode to a Dorian mode for a regular minor seventh chord, and then we have these kind of crazy little slash chords, and this is almost like a little enclosure, right? A, G, A flat. So beautiful, right? Okay, so there is some logic to this harmony. It's not just random. The logic gets a little bit more obscure, at least as we get to the bridge. So one of the things that we see is that the A section has this E flat pedal, whereas the bridge has a B flat pedal. Pretty traditional, 1 to 5 to 1. Okay, so this is a layer of harmony going on here, right? And we've got all these complex flash chords, B major 7. Another way to write this chord, by the way, would be G over B flat. And then a really crazy chord, B minor 9 major 7. And we end on this kind of E flat, I would call it Phrygian here. And by the way, I would use B flat Phrygian. And one of the secrets to this progression, again, in my personal opinion, is that it's almost like we're going, I can kind of hear these major thirds, even though I know it says B minor 9 major 7, we're going like D, B, A flat. So D, sorry, I said major thirds, I meant minor thirds. Okay, so that's our top line of harmony, which is already like really dense and fascinating, and we could argue, how did he come up with those chords? But I want to show you what I'm referring to as the shadow harmony. Shadow. Okay. One of the things that he does here, and I'm going to show you two different ways to interpret it, is that he uses minor and major pentatonic scales based on the same roots. Okay. I'm going to show you first, because it's maybe a little bit more obvious, using E flat. So E flat major pentatonic would have E flat, F, G, B flat, C. E flat minor pentatonic would have E flat, am I doing this right? I hope that I am. F, G flat, B flat, D flat. So that's E flat major pentatonic. This is so messy. And then E flat minor pentatonic, I did wrong. God damn it. This is so embarrassing. There we go. Okay, now we got it. It's all the black keys. How could I forget? Remember, minor pentatonic is like the major pentatonic of the relative major. So this is like G flat major pentatonic. And I sometimes like to think that like these two together make the blues. Right, because you got the major third and you got the minor third, like crashing up against each other. So if we analyze the melody here, we can see do 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 do. This is major pentatonic, right? And then these two measures are E flat minor pentatonic. Pretty darn clean, actually, right? And so one of the things that we can do is we can use this to improvise. And one of the reasons this is important, one of the reasons understanding the shadow harmony and not just the top line harmony is important, is that this is one awesome way to introduce dissonance. So I'm going to play these notes of E flat minor pentatonic, even while there's, for instance, a G major chord, which, you know, there's really a clash between those two things, right? G major, let's see if this is going to work. G major obviously has these notes. Right, those things don't go together at all. But check it out. If I am using this in context, then those dissonances are actually pretty okay as long as you are smart about resolving them. Listen one more time. We're going to come back to this, but let's forge on with this E flat theory. There's a lot of reasons to think that this tune is in E flat. For instance, the melody ends on an E flat. The last bass note is E flat. So that's why we're going with E flat, but we're going to come back to that thought. Okay, and then if we keep looking at the melody in this E flat mindset, we're going to see that actually it's also kind of clearly divided here. This is all E flat major pentatonic. Oops, let's make this bigger. Right? That's all right within the major pentatonic. And then we have minor, and then back to major. All right, so starting on the second line. It's right in the minor pentatonic. Okay. And so I don't know if he did this consciously or not, but he's basically using E flat major pentatonic as a home base, and the minor pentatonic is the quote unquote dominant, right? There's not a B flat 7 here. but he's using it as a way to create tension and release. So So just like these A sections, you can improvise using these E-flat pentatonic scales on the bridge. Now, if you're trying this, there's a possibility it might go well because there are some avoid notes or notes that you want to move through quickly, okay? So it's not just a free-for-all, I'm going to use whatever note of the pentatonic I want, however I want. For instance, if I'm using E-flat major pentatonic over this B-flat major 7, I probably don't want to stick on that C natural of the E-flat major pentatonic. Now, before I show you the other set of pentatonic possibilities, I do also want to show you that there are some notes, E-flat and B-flat in particular, that are shared between these two pentatonics. And there are moments when you have just one of those two notes for like an entire bar. And so I could actually decide to do this a different way. I could decide it's E-flat minor, E-flat major, E-flat minor, E-flat major, right? So you do actually have some wiggle room in these parts where the melody could be minor pentatonic or it could be major pentatonic, okay? But what's special about this tune, first of all, it's very beautiful. It's so beautiful. From a theoretical standpoint, from this shadow harmony space, what's special is that this melody could be using the major and minor pentatonic scales of E-flat, but here's the grand reveal. It could also be using the minor and major pentatonics of A-flat. And I want to show you how. And Coltrane, I don't know if he did it intentionally. If he did, I'm very impressed. It was very strategic. So here's A-flat major. And you can see it has almost all the same notes as E-flat pentatonic, right? It's only one note different. If we change that A-flat to G, it would be E-flat major pentatonic, right? I'm going to write this an octave down so that it doesn't crash up against the word Coltrane again. I'm going to try not to mess up the minor pentatonic scale this time. Did I do it right? Nope, absolutely not. Wow, I can't do this under pressure. It's a C flat or a B natural. That's the third. Right, so that's your A flat minor pentatonic. Okay, and again, very similar, just one note different from the E flat minor pentatonic. Each pentatonic just has one scale different, one note different. So here, it could be that Coltrane's using his A flat major pentatonic and then his A flat minor. So two different possibilities for these shadow harmonies. And I think you actually find that the A flat is going to be more colorful. And it kind of fits better over some of these changes. And I would probably return to A flat major here because the chord, after all, is A flat major. So it's going to match a lot better than the A flat minor. Listen, look at what I'm playing here. Right, this is... Right, I'm playing A flats against the G major. Oh no, I'm having tech problems. All right, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Don't panic. So there's these two different versions of shadow harmony. And just before we go, let's just talk about this idea of shadow harmony a little bit more, right? So one place where we can see shadow harmony is in the blues. Right, if I'm playing an F blues, on one hand, I'm playing F7, B flat 7, B diminished, whatever. But on the other hand, I'm playing, right, just the F minor pentatonic. Same thing, rhythm changes. And this spot. Okay, but you've got that B flat minor pentatonic available as shadow harmony. So I think there is a really interesting way to think about these kinds of two levels of harmony that are going on at any one time. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed that. If you do, treat yourself. You enjoy, you deserve it. That's what I'm trying to say. Jazz piano fundamentals. Playing solo jazz piano. Jazz piano fundamentals yet again. JeremySiskind.com/shop. I will sign one to you. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you around. Oh, if you watched this far, why don't you comment with Shadowlands? I don't know what that means. Is it from The Lion King? I think so. Shadowlands. Bye, everyone.